Welcome to Performance Center 9.1. This version of Performance Center includes major enhancements to the online view that enable you to personalize the way you monitor running load tests. For example, a performance engineer may want to monitor metrics pertaining to the activity of both the application under test and the underlying machines, whereas a business analyst may want to see only the response times of the various transactions. Customizing the online view involves defining the number of graphs to display in the window, selecting measurements or metrics to display in each graph, and configuring the graphs to suit your needs. Online customization is saved per user per load test so that each time a user runs a particular load test, the online view that he or she defined for that test is displayed. Let's look at some of the new online capabilities. First, let's get acquainted with the new online view. On the left is the graph tree. It contains all the graphs that can be viewed for the running load test. The main area displays the monitor graphs, and the legend below the graphs displays the metrics of the selected graph. Let's start customizing the online view by selecting a number of graphs to display. For now, we will display 3 graphs: running vUsers, transaction response time, and the Windows Resources Monitor that was defined for this test. To display 3 graphs, we select the 3-graph layout from the toolbar. We select the second graph, and in the tree, we select the transaction response time graph. The second graph now displays the transaction response time data. Now let's display the Windows Resources graphs. We can see that the large number of metrics displayed in the Windows Resources graph makes the graph difficult to read. Let's say we would like to focus on 3 memory metrics and 3 processor metrics while running the test. To isolate these metrics and customize the view to our needs, we can create a copy of the Windows Resources graph and then display only the specific metrics that we want to view in each graph. Let's start by displaying 4 graphs in the Graph Display area. The 4th graph pane currently displays the Connections graph. Now we duplicate the Windows Resources graph. A new graph called Windows Resources 2 is created. Let's display the duplicated Windows Resources graph in the 4th graph pane. In the original Windows Resources graph, we want to show only the memory metrics, so we rename it Windows Resources Memory. Note how the title of the actual graph has changed accordingly. We want the second Windows Resources graph to show only the processor metrics. Let's rename it Windows Resources Processor. Now let's change the metrics in each Windows Resources graph. We select the Windows Resources Memory graph, and in the legend, we select only the memory metrics that we want to display: available bytes, cache bytes, and committed bytes. This graph now displays only the 3 memory metrics that we want to monitor. Now let's select the Windows Resources Processor graph, and in the legend, let's select only the processor metrics we want to display: percentage of user time, percentage of processor time, and percentage of idle time. This graph now displays only the 3 processor metrics that we want to monitor. Our online view is now customized to our needs, and only the data we want to track is displayed. We can also open a selected graph in a separate window. This window functions in the same way as the online view pane in the Load Test Run window. Here, too, we can display multiple graphs. We can select graphs other than those displayed in the Load Test Run window, enabling us to view more online data simultaneously. The layout we defined is saved for the load test, so that every time we run this specific load test, this is the online view we will see. We can create different views for the other load tests, and other users viewing the same load tests can personalize their online views too. This demonstration has shown you some of the new online view capabilities available in Performance Center 9.1. These capabilities allow you to personalize your online view so that you can monitor your running load tests according to your specific needs. For more information about the new online view, see the HP Performance Center User's Guide.